Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever it is, wherever you are, welcome to the Good Values podcast. Now, this is part 2 of my conversation with Andi Soto. If you didn't see part 1, I will leave a link here, but there'll also be a link in the description below. Now, this is someone who I've known for almost 10 years. I've spoken to her online back and forth. I love her to bits. I did a big gushing introduction as well in part 1. So without further ado, this is part 2 of my conversation with Andi Soto. You know, with the pandemic and then this amazing pregnancy and having a child, have either of those things changed your kind of color palette or anything like that? Has your kind of work transformed at all through that process?
Oof. That's a great question. During the pandemic, I was doing, and I'm not sure if you noticed it. I missed going to the park or going outside so much. I started doing this whole monsteras and forest and jungle themes all the time, and people actually enjoyed it so much. I got so many commissions based on those. But then this whole pregnancy thing. I'm not sure why. I wanted to explore different palettes of colors, but I use the same ones. But I execute them differently. So I started using more gradients of the same color the same colors I'd used, but I will mix them with warmer. I'm not sure if I'll be able to explain this. Like what contrast of colors. I mean, I will use the same warm colors like red, carmine, or yellows and stuff, but the gradients will be like, more gradienty. I will experiment with new brands of watercolors as well, because when I had my solo show in New York, we were able to get more tools and more materials for me to work with. And my husband was able to go to this amazing art store. I don't remember the name. And he was like, "Do you need more colors?" Like, "Yeah, I do." "Okay, choose." I was like, what do I do with a wall full of watercolors and stuff? That palette is huge.
Yeah.
And the only thing I ordered was gray, beige, and I think it was burnt amber or something.
Yeah.
That's it. And now those are the colors I use for skin tones. I don't use, the pinkish hues that I used to use.
Yeah.
Now I use gray, and I'm mixing it with kind of brown things and stuff. And the contrast is so beautiful.
Yeah.
I was like, I always use those colors, but I think I use them incorrectly. I don't know. I was experimenting. So, and now I'm going towards, fall, autumn colors like oranges and yellows.
Yeah.
One of my least favorite colors is yellow. And I'm like, I enjoy working gradients with yellow so much. I have to add everything. I have to add yellow to everything. And then I will contrast with full rich blues and stuff like, it looks so beautiful. Wow, I've seen it before, but now it's like, I love it. And I'm mixing the watercolors with color pencils.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure why yellows, it's so amazing to work with watercolors and colored pencils at the same time. It's like they mix all together like beautiful. It's just a work of art. It just existed. If you do it with reds and blues, it won't see like as good as with yellows. I'm not sure if you have seen that before, but I love it. I love the contrast of blues and yellows now. I'm like, I have never used blue before, and now I'm using blue and turquoise and emerald and stuff like that. Like, what? Wow. I'm transitioning towards a mix of contrasts. Like, yeah. And there's one there's one piece that it's called Restorations. It's a subject with a bunch of butterflies and in the face. And I wanted to explore the contrast of colors there, and it looks so beautiful. Like, well, I don't know why I never used those colors before. I went crazy. But now I appreciate mute tones more now than I used before. I mean, I always enjoyed them, but now I kind of I don't know if it's a new neural path that I know how to use them now and mix them with the colors, the color palette that I used to work with before. And the mix is, for me, it's like, it's so rich. Oh, wow, it's beautiful. It's delicious. Like, that's the only difference. I mean, I went from using greens and browns, and now it's like contrast of yellow and blue and red everywhere.
Yeah.
And the usual suspect is my gold thing. But now it's not like the whole aura with the whole filigree stuff. I mean, it's only a line now. I add more details now, and I truly enjoy it. I want artwork to be like really dense, and I want the gold detail to just be a detail, not the half of the artwork. So
That's
it makes
fantastic.
you appreciate more the details and the hard work and the grunt work of doing all painting and coloring everything, and then like just one beautiful gold line. That's my signature now. Like,
lovely.
Not like filling it like gold, like but no, that's the only difference. And during the pandemic, I would use like really heavy filigree auras and stuff, and now it's just a single line.
Oh, amazing. Well, a technical question, because you mentioned using watercolor with colored pencils. Are the colored pencils water soluble, or are they just normal colored pencils that work with?
It's a normal wax colored pencil. I mean, I've been asked like, how do you do? Because when you work with watercolor and then you try to use the wax pencils, it kind of looks weird. I'm not sure why I don't have that problem. Maybe it's because of the paper. Because I use like 6. It's really thick.
No, is it?
And the paper absorbs most of the water. So if I'm working with color pencils afterwards, I won't have that problem that the paper will look weird or glossy. Because when you work with color pencils, they look like kind of glossy. They do look glossy, but it allows me to complete the gradients and stuff with the color pencils. And it's how's it called? It's a 600 grams paper. It's like really thick. It's really thick.
Right.
And it allows me to work with both. But being asked the same thing, like, how do you do? Because the wax repels the water. But then you work with watercolors. People work with those. If you work with watercolors, you will work with color pencils as well. And it's not like it's only for little details. I mean, you won't notice. If I tell you, obviously, if you see the paper sideways with the light coming out, it's like, you can see the glossy of the wax pencil. But I think it's the paper more than the watercolors. But people are like, I cannot do anything because the watercolor won't allow me to work with the wax paper. Try another brand then. Or maybe your pencil is too hard. Maybe you have to get like a softer pencil. And I use Prismacolor. Other people use Faber-Castell. They say it's better. I haven't tried it. There are so many brands that you can try that will allow you to work with mixed media. I mean, you have to try different brands. And some brands behave differently with water and paper and stuff. So, with the materials I use, they work perfectly together. So,
that's amazing. So, what's your, if you can step me through your process of making a piece? So, is it loose pencils first, and then you erase the looser lines, and you tighten up the pencils, and then it's ink, or what's the process?
It's the same as before. It's the same as 10 years ago. People will ask me like, do you sketch? No, I don't sketch. I have the idea. I have an idea in my head. I know how to execute it. It takes longer, to do the whole sketch thing. If you improvise, it takes longer. If you want to work faster, you won't improvise. So you have to be really careful. But I will start with pencil. If I have an idea, I execute it really quickly. I usually in an 8 by 8 inches piece of artwork, I will sketch it in like an hour. And usually when you see the hair is also improvised. I mean, I will have a line to follow, but sometimes I feel like I don't want to follow that line. I want to go somewhere else. So I will just improvise the lines and then just feel everything around it. And usually when I have to plan ahead, like the bigger piece I'm working on, it has been there for months. I have to be really careful with architecture and perspective. I will work on every perspective in different layers, and I usually improvise as well. Like I have to draw a bunch of grass in this area of this drawing, but then I was like, no, I feel like drawing something like a fence, and then I will start drawing ferns.
Yeah.
You don't do that. Kids, don't do that. Don't improvise. If you have to deliver something, don't improvise.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I'm allowed to take my time, and I improvise almost all the time. But then after I finish the pencil drawing, I will start inking, and inking will take a couple of days, from a couple of days to a couple of weeks, depending on how I feel, because if I don't feel like it, I will just leave the drawing there and I will do something else or draw something else. I have to be on the right mindset. I'm not sure if people think about those things. I mean, most of my work depends on my mindset. So if I'm not feeling it, I won't be working on it. So, and after I ink, I will go straight away with watercolors and then with the colored pencils, and save the best for last. This graphite, when I have to make the shadings to the hair to add more contrast, and that will be it. And then you have to seal it, add the golden details afterwards, because if you seal and if you work with the gold acrylic and then you seal it with the matte thing, the gold thing will disappear. You have to work on it again. So I leave the gold part for last.
So that can't be sealed. So the gold part isn't sealed.
You can seal it, but it won't look shiny. It will look matte. So it will die with the whole sealing thing, because I use matte spray.
Yeah.
And then I will do it again. I will just do a pass of gold with the gold acrylic, and that will be it. So it will shine. Or gold leaf if the customer or the theme applies to gold leaf. Obviously, if you seal gold leaf, it will look dull. So don't do it. But yeah, that's basically it. It's kind of simple. It's a simple way to describe my workflow.
Yeah.
But it's the whole idea thing. I mean, I do collages on my head. If I have to use the references, I will take pictures of myself as reference. The whole hand things, you will see me in front of the iPad doing this.
Yeah, amazing.
The whole hand gestures.
Yeah.
And I will use my son's hands for that. He's always like, he's incredible. Kind of a choreography all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically it. It's building up the whole sketch idea in my head. For me, it's easy. Some people need to sketch the ideas first and then start mixing everything together. But I'm fortunate enough to be able to do that in my head and then translate it into paper and take my time executing it. I mean, it's not like the inspiration will hit me for an hour and that's it. That's enough for me.
Yeah.
The rest of it, it's just grunt work. It's just, discipline and stuff. I have to finish this, and that'll be it. It's not like I'll be inspired all the time. The muse is, please.
You can just switch it on and off, because you do seem like someone who's so switched on that you could be, enjoying the sunset in Zadar, and yet something just hit you and just go, oh, that color, actually, I need that color in a piece, or, in the shower and just go, oh, a skeleton could be doing this, or some kind of thing where an idea would hit you, and does
It's
that
all the
not?
time.
Is
Yeah,
it?
it's
Yeah.
all the time. It's so difficult being that kind of person that I'll be watching the sunset like I need to use a combination of colors. I will take a picture, but then I will forget to use it.
Yeah.
But usually I have those spots of ideas where during the afternoon when I'm well rested, when I'm fed,
Yeah.
and when I appreciate life better.
Yeah.
And but sometimes it will happen like you say, like I'll be like hit with an idea, like I have to draw that.
Mm.
Like yesterday, I had an idea. Like I was watching TV.
Yeah.
Some weird. It was a show about a midnight dinner. I'm not sure if you have seen it. It's a Japanese show. It's something. It's really beautiful.
Mm.
And it was like, oh, I have an idea. I have to draw it. I still have the idea. I have to take a note about it, and then I know I'll be able to execute it whenever I want.
Mm.
That's it. I mean, and that's I have the Americans call it the parking lot. They say, "I will leave it in the parking lot." When you have a meeting, let's leave it in the parking lot. Of course, so we'll leave that question. Well, I have a parking lot full of ideas.
Yeah.
There's a queue. So I'm fortunate enough to have a queue of ideas waiting for me to execute them. So yeah, and once I sit down, I put the pump. I put the breast pump here, the baby here, and I'm like everything. Like I can do, and then the third arm will come out. Like yeah. No, actually, just the breast pump, and then I will be working on. But yeah, I mean, I'm very fortunate. Yeah.
That's good. I was going to say, you seem like a factory of creation. You've got a breast
Well,
pump here, and then an arm
it's very
rendering.
funny because I cannot listen to music or podcasts anymore because I'm and that machine makes a lot of noise, and then the baby's
Yeah.
like, yeah, and then my husband it's having a meeting, and like, okay, this is us now. I won't be listening to podcasts anymore. No, I'm kidding. I usually when the baby's sleeping and we have this thing that we put them on, and he will be
Yeah.
sleeping and he will be behind me. I'll put some podcast like, hey, remember when you were in my belly? You were listening to creepy podcasts? Yeah, there you go. Now you can listen to them directly. But yeah, it's a once a week kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my work process.
Well,
Maybe it will change when this kid grows because once they go mobile,
yeah,
walking
that's
and stuff like,
true.
oh, they get, oh no, stop at that, and they have to stop everything to grab the baby. But yeah, I mean, nothing. The only thing that has changed is that I have a baby now.
Yeah.
But the whole work process is it's the same.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same. And the execution of watercolors, it's a little bit more elaborate, but that's it.
Mm.
That's it. It's the same thing. And usually I dread doing the whole black background. So now I fill the entire paper of stuff so I don't have to fill the black background anymore. Like, good to know you don't have to spend 2 days filling the background with black.
Yeah.
But when I do, now it looks better because I have more patience. And it looks so velvety, like, it seems like you cannot see the brush things. Like, I'm getting better. Okay. Older and wiser. That's good. That's good. But yeah, that's the only thing that has changed. The whole workflow thing, it's the same.
Well, I was watching you doing some inking with a brush of black in between the hairs, and I was thinking, surely there has to be at times where you go, I've just literally covered up part. Is there never a time when you're like, I'll just get a Posca pen or get a white pen and stroke that through? Or is there times like that? Yeah, because it's got to be
it has
magic.
happened like twice in my life.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Obviously, it happens all the time. People will expect you like, you have to do a perfect. Yeah, it's once or twice a year, to be honest. I mean,
that's
like,
still amazing.
Do I really need this strand of hair here?
Yeah.
Yes, and I will go with a,
Yeah.
carefully with
Crispy.
white and stuff. And I
Yeah.
have a mix of ink
Mm.
that it matches the color of the paper. So it won't look kind of titanium white.
Yeah.
It looks kind of, it's there. I don't know. I'm not sure we're able to replicate that color
Yeah.
in the future. I'm not sure.
Mm.
I don't even know how I did it. I was so pregnant and I was experimenting. And I was like that they're like, I need ink. And I need ink that matches my paper. So
Yeah.
it cannot be titanium white. No, those hairs are not titanium white. But then I won't use it as often as people would think. But I use them for highlights in the eyes and the
Oh,
lips and
brilliant.
stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not that often. I mean, now this whole mindfulness thing and I really take care of my brushes now. Yeah, I clean them all the
Yeah.
time. Yeah, with the
Yeah.
whole
Excellent.
put them cream and stuff like
Oh,
wax
wow.
and I was gonna swear. Sorry. and and those obviously if you have like if you take care of your brushes and the brushes will be all soft and the
Yeah.
lines will be the way you need them to be,
Mm.
there is a small chance you will make a mistake. Even if you get distracted. Because sometimes I'm so tired, I start, crossing my eyes like, oh, I cannot see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has happened once or twice.
Mm.
It doesn't happen that often. So yeah, I leave that white, a special white ink for highlights, and that's it.
Yeah.
If I really need that strand of hair to go that way,
Mm.
I'll make the correction. It's a small correction.
It is something we've
And
heard from more experienced artists is that learning to draw is great, but learning how to fix problems is more important because
it's
they're
more
just going to
important.
happen. And if you don't know how to fix it, all that time will be devastating all of a sudden because you can't get your way out of a problem. So that can be as important as anything else.
Exactly. You have to be ready to make a mistake. Usually it happens too when I apply color
Mm.
and maybe in the I will think like, that color will look great. I know it look great. And then I execute the thing and I'm like, oh, I don't like it that much.
Yeah.
What do I do to fix it? And they were like, I will leave it like that. I will let it be. I will let it breathe.
Yeah.
And then I will explore it, like work around it and
Yeah.
just leave that color like that. And maybe add some contrast on the other side and maybe make a try. Usually when you try to make a correction on color, it doesn't work.
Really.
When you work with watercolor, that's it.
Mm.
You cannot
Match the color
fix
again.
that.
Yeah.
You cannot fix that. And if you want to fix it, you have to go with another medium and like, oh no, I won't do that. I will work around it
Yeah.
and I will make it work. Maybe I will make some corrections with color pencils, or maybe I will add more details on the other side. I will use contrast on the other side of the drawing.
Mm.
But if I use a color and I don't like it, I usually end up liking it anyways because I fix everything around it and I will make it fit.
Yeah.
And usually you don't do that. You start all over. But these fast times, you won't be able to work on that drawing. Actually, it happened once. And my previous solo show in History of Emotions that I had to redraw everything. It was so frustrating because I spent like a week on that one drawing. It was so complicated. And I was like, oh no, I won't be able to replicate this. And I was able. And I did it in 2 days because I was panicking. But I did it. I won't do it again. If something doesn't work, I will work something different and it will be a total different artwork. That's it. That's it. I won't be dying because this artwork didn't work.
Yeah. Killer.
But if you have a deadline, oof.
Yeah.
That's so different. It's different.
Yeah.
That's why I'm really careful now.
Now, I'm sure that I asked you this the first time that we spoke on camera, where I have these set questions sometimes, and the ones that I always ask guests first is, what do you like and what don't you like about your own artwork?
Oh, wow. What I like about my artwork is that I enjoy the process so much.
Mm.
What I don't like, look, I'm so precise. I like concise, like no, it's actually like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I really enjoy working on my stuff. I
Mm.
mean, it's an extension of me, and how why wouldn't I like it? Actually,
Yeah.
sometimes when I do, I mean, I try to translate my thoughts into a piece of artwork. I don't like it, I will just erase it and start again. But
Wow.
then I will use the same concept.
Mm.
I will just execute it differently, and I will make it work. And I enjoy the process so much. I never get frustrated. If I get frustrated, it's because I have a deadline. And I know I work good under pressure, but I don't like it. I don't like deadlines. But you have to have them. You have to have that little pressure behind you so you can be on time. And what I don't like about my work, it's that sometimes I get so frustrated. Like, why does it have to be so complicated? Why do I have to fill this whole entire background with black? Why? Why Caravaggio? Why am I channeling Caravaggio with this whole claroscuro? I'm like, why do I have to contrast? That's it. I'll get mad at me like, why do I have to fill this background with black? But it looks so good, so let's do it.
Yeah.
I'll be mad, like clenching my jaw, like, oh, why do I have to do this like that? That's it. That's it. I'll be like, I have to be more patient. I have to be more patient with myself because
Yeah.
I sometimes I'll be like, this illustration will work perfectly with flowers, but
Mm.
if I do background, black background with the velvet thing, and then I can do some contrast.
Mm.
Let's do the black background. Like, why did I have to take? I mean, why did I have to think about that? That it would look good with the black background instead of filling everything with flowers. Okay. Ask my husband. He was like, "How are you doing?" I have to do the background. Like, oh, okay. I'll be mad. I'll be so mad. Like, no,
Oh.
I have to paint the entire thing. But yeah,
Yeah.
now I'm prepared. I'm like, I have to focus. Like, yeah, now it's the grunt work of the grunt work.
Mm.
Just do it. Shut up and do it. And I will do it. Like, yeah, I finished. And now I have to do the gold thing.
You've set a standard. You have to stay consistent. You have to keep doing
Yeah, I
it.
have to stay consistent. And usually I have a plan. Like today, I will spend 3 hours working on backgrounds. If I don't do the 3 hours, I will feel like, and I have to do it.
Yeah.
And but I end up enjoying the process anyways. That's it. I mean, it usually the subject looks like it's so dark and
Mm.
dark themed. Oh, the death and rebirth and stuff. And then you will see me like, I love this so much. Woo! Laughing and smiling all the time. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But yeah, that's the only thing. I don't even I don't even think it's like I don't like it. It's like I dislike it.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy it as much, but yeah, I do like that part as well.
Mm.
It's part of the thing.
Yeah.
That's me. Andi Soto is that thing. Andi Soto is lines and black backgrounds.
Yeah.
That's the essence of the thing. So you
Yeah.
better like it, girl. You better like the process. But yeah, sometimes I dread it, sometimes I don't. It had to be on the right mindset, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I've been on the right mindset since last year, so it's a good thing.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, last question. This is again the one that I ask every professional and every amateur alike, and that is probably the easiest for you to answer. But what's the most beautiful thing you've seen today?
My God, his name is Ante Mishlo. It's the most perfect human being I've ever seen in my life. I'm sorry. I mean, I respect his privacy. Usually you will see his cheek like, oh, look at that. No, actually, it's every day it's the same. I mean, even before Ante, even before my baby, it's my cat, Squanchy. I see him. Oh my God. When I went to the hospital, hospital to give birth. I
Yeah.
came back. He was a different cat.
Really?
I don't know what happened. I mean, he behaves like a person now. I mean, he follows me around. He
Yeah.
smells the baby. He's respectful.
Oh.
I'm like, what is going on with this cat? I mean, the baby cries and the cat cries, and you don't notice the difference. It's so weird. No, actually, life looks beautiful now.
Yeah.
It's so cliche. I'm a mom now. Everything's beautiful. No, my baby, it's so beautiful. I see him like, oh, he's perfect. Look at his cheeks. Look at his little fingers. And then I obviously I've done like anatomy studies, like you know how the body works and stuff. And I
Yeah.
see him like in this little version of myself, like, oh, it's growing. And then I look at him, and then I bought some flowers, and you know about my whole thing with the garden.
Yeah.
And I planted some marigolds like last week, and they are growing now. Like, look, it's so beautiful. I bought some flowers. Like, I have more flowers now. Oh, look at them, it's full of bugs. Oh wow, look at the bugs. I'm so cliche now. Everything's beautiful.
Just
Everything's
overwhelmed
beautiful.
with beauty.
I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed with beauty.
I love
It's
it.
like even when I see other people's work, it's same. Look at that piece of artwork. Oh my god! And then I will comment on everybody's artwork now. Like, it moved me so much. Oh my god! Excellent service having a baby.
Yeah.
Excellent baby.
Well,
But yeah, I mean, it's such an amazing experience to experience life differently now. Not being afraid so much, and taking everything, and not, having expectations, the correct expectations on life and work and everything else, and being ready. You cannot be ready all the time. You cannot have the correct expectations all the time. But when you are in the right mindset, that I hope people will reach that level soon in their lives. I highly recommend it. It's amazing. And, I have hard times as well, but I handle them differently now. And it's not only because I enjoy the sun more, because I cannot go out as often, and or maybe stand up without feeling pain. Life changes, and I feel fortunate enough that my life changed for the best. And this little guy it's my bundle of joy, obviously, and my cat. And my amazing husband, that he's been there 200%.
yeah.
And I'm not exaggerating, because he's an amazing guy. I just met him. Jivan is the best man ever, and he has been there. And I do hope everybody will be able to have that kind of support and that experience, to experience life the same as me, and have the correct expectations and enjoy everything. I mean, you don't have to have a child.
No.
Let's say you don't have to have a child. You don't have to have a cat to feel that, to feel happiness. But I do hope everybody will reach that point in life that you will say, "Hey, it's so good to be awake.
Yeah.
It's so good to see the sun," or it's raining. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my God, everything's dirty. Let's clean then. And that's it, with a smile. Maybe you won't be smiling, but at least you won't take like everything's hard, or like I used to.
Yeah.
But that's basically it. The most beautiful thing I will see, I think, my entire life will be my boy. And if I have another one, I'll go, another beautiful thing. But yeah, I mean, obviously, that's the cliche answer. The cliche answer will be my baby boy. It's the most beautiful thing I will see every day.
Yeah.
But then I will see my husband, and he's the most beautiful thing I'll ever see.
Yeah.
And then I will see you with other people, another beautiful thing. And then I will see your artwork, and then we'll see other people's artwork, and I will enjoy it. And it's every day. So, but yeah, it's a bunch of beautiful things. I cannot just say like it's my baby boy.
Oh, Just so much love. I love
So
that.
much
It's
love. I mean, oh
amazing.
my God.
It's sickening.
Oh, I'm sickeningly sweet. No, yeah. But no,
Okay.
I want people to know that it is possible to feel happy and be happy
Yeah.
and be cliche. It's not a bad thing. It will reflect on your work, even though yeah, I can keep working on that things, but I mean it's still part of me and my personality and my emotions and stuff. But the execution depends on my mood, and my mood has been amazing this past year. So that's why my artwork looks different.
Mm.
People see different, but they don't know why. That's one of the reasons why it looks different. The execution is, it's more delicate. I'm more focused on details,
Mm.
and yeah, less black backgrounds. Yeah. Well, that's
So
it. That's the long answer for
yeah,
this
no, I
short
love it.
question.
Well, where is it you want to send the audience? Where should they go and see your work?
They can go to my Instagram, Andi Machka. Machka, it's Macka. It's on Instagram until I get my website running, because it will be someday. I don't know when, but it will. It will be
Yeah.
a thing someday. But Instagram, so you can see my stories, you can see my posts and my reels. That's basically a snippet of my life. I'm not as close as before. Now I'm a little bit more open to people to see my life. Then I'm not only an illustrator that is sitting on the desk for 12 hours working. I'm also a human being. Uh, and I exist and I do other stuff than drawing. So
Well, I'm
yeah,
going to say
Instagram by now,
also
for now.
Instaprint as well. You've been promoting a bit of Instaprint to get your prints to pay for Pampers.
Yes, I've been uploading a lot of stuff on Imprint. So
Imprint, sorry, not Instaprint, Imprint. Yeah.
same difference.
I'm not in that game yet, so I don't know the names properly.
I have prints on Imprint, and I also have a limited edition fine art print with People's Print, so you can go there too.
Okay.
And that's it. On my big cartel, I
Excellent.
have some originals
Yeah.
and wax. Wow. I'll have more stuff with Modern Eden.
Fantastic.
I have a bunch of stuff, but I will send everything. I will keep everything on Instagram, which is basically, the main,
it's the hub
communication
for everything.
channel and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you
Good
so much for
times.
being a guest. It's so nice talking to you every time, and
The
you're looking
honor is
amazing. You're doing
mine.
fantastic. Your work is beautiful, and I only wish the best for you always. So thank you so much.
Likewise. Thank you so much. It's such an honor to be part of this.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm going to end it there.
Anyway, stay in touch, and I will see you around.
That seems good. Okay, that's part 2 done, and that is the episode which Andi Soto was my guest. I love her so much. She's such an incredible person. I love her artwork. I absolutely adore her personality. I think she's such a fantastic addition to the art community at large. I really want you to support her, so I'm going to leave all of the links to her social media in the description below. Please go and support her and buy her artwork as well. She sells originals, and that's something which one day I hope to have hanging on my wall myself. But if you can also support this channel, I'd really appreciate it by leaving a like, comment down below, or subscribe to the channel. And if you do subscribe, ring the notification bell for all the notifications. Share this with friends and family. I really want the channel to grow, and with your help it will. But I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much. I will see you in the next episode.